Down there. Meeting come to order. We'll have the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Upper Chichester Township Board of Commissioners meeting, November 9th, 2023. George, can you do roll call, please?
Sure thing. Commissioner Baiocco,
Here.
Commissioner Gaudioso,
Here.
Commissioner Rakowski,
Here.
Commissioner Whitaker,
Here.
Commissioner Neary,
Here.
Michael Pierce,
Here.
Lisa Catania,
Here.
and myself, George Needles, present.
Okay, we'll open it up to the public. If anybody has any comment on the agenda or anything, any concerns, I'll open up to the floor to the residents, the first row to my left, but to your right. You step up to the podium if you have anything and state your name, address, and telephone number if you want us to get back to. Yes.
Come on up, Dawn.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. It's nice to see everybody again on this nice summer evening. I'm Dawn Daniels, president of the Upper Chichester Library. I would like to let you know what's going on with the library in these several past months. Well, we've had a cash bingo, we've had a crab feast, fundraiser, we've had raffles, and we just sent out our annual fund drive, which is doing very well for us. Thankful for all the people in our township and our businesses. As you know, Betsy retired back in May, and we have been spending the last few months looking for another director, librarian, to take her place. We are very happy to whom we found. She's worked in this community for over 20 plus years, comes with high credentials, and has enormous experience in this category. She's wonderful with children and has a positive influence on everybody. She's a very happy-go-lucky lady and is very pleasant to work with. She started August 1st, but spent the weeks before coming to the library to learn our system and get adjusted to our library. She's offered fresh eyes on updating and redecorating, and she has since made the library more lively, colorful, and inviting. She has fresh eyes that were needed to freshen and renew the library. The staff and the volunteers get along with her wonderfully, and they're very happy. When people come through the door, they're very happy that they know her and notice her, because a lot of the children know her from the past. She's taught most of those children. She already knows a lot about the library. She didn't need to know much. We introduced her to the administrative part of the library, which was new to her, but she caught on quite miraculously. Since she's been here, she's already started August 1st. She started August 1st. She already started new programs for children, art classes on Saturdays. She has board games and puzzle days on the opposite Saturdays. She's here for the senior citizens. She's already been a part of the Friends of the Library, and we're very proud of her and very happy to have found her. It is with happiness and excitement that I introduce to you Teresa Smedili.
Wow, thank you. That was very, very nice. I'm Terry, and I'm honored to be here tonight. Thank you, Dawn, for those very kind words. I really appreciate the opportunity to be your new library director. As Dawn had said, I'm a school librarian for over 20 years, and the last 7 have been in the Chichester Middle School. So now I get to continue to serve my students as well as the community at large. So it's been very exciting for me. And as you know, our staff is wonderful. They're very caring and dedicated and patient with me, and we do work well together. Every day is something different, and it's been fun and exciting. Tomorrow, in fact, we're going to honor our veterans. So if there's any veterans here, or if you know of any, please tell them to come by for coffee and donuts at the library. And as Dawn mentioned too, we had just our fundraiser letter has gotten such a great response. So many people love us and love what we do and appreciate what we do. And we appreciate their financial support. And we look forward to bigger and better ways to serve you. And I look forward to being a part of that. So thank you. And come visit us at the library soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else in the left side, right side of the room? We'll go to the right side, your left. If not, we're moving along to our meeting. Need an approval of the minutes from October 12th, 2023 Board of Commissioners.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. I have to make an announcement. We did have an executive meeting November 9th, 2023 regarding personnel matters. Okay, we're moving along to the action items. Number 6 through number 9 will be Madam Vice President Nicole Whitaker.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Couple of announcements. This Saturday, here at the Township Building, we'll have our Veterans Day breakfast. It'll be at 10 a.m. And we're partnering with State Representative Carol Kazim, who will be in attendance to provide information regarding veteran social services. So that's this Saturday. And then our annual holiday celebration is going to be on Saturday, November the 25th. It's going to begin at 3 p.m. with the Santa Sprint 5K run. And the village, Christmas Village, will be from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. with Santa Claus arriving at 6 p.m. This will be in the Willowbrook Plaza. If you're interested in being a vendor, please contact Brian Warren at bwarren@upperchi, abbreviation for township, twp.org, if you're interested in being a vendor for that event. Moving on to our motions. Consider a motion ratifying the hiring of Aisha Henson as the position of Recreation Program Coordinator in Upper Chichester Township.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Consider a motion approving the annual contract with Millennium Strategies LLC.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Consider a motion making application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development local share account in the amount of $1 million for the Upper Chichester Boothwyn Firehouse / Public Library renovation project.
Second.
Any questions?
Is this a matching grant or is it a full $1 million
It's a
grant?
full grant. no
Okay.
match.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next action items will be Commissioner Joe Neary, number 10 through 15.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Consider a motion approving the list of bills in the amount of $1,661,073.88. So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Is that our MMO and all that in there? Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Consider a motion approving the 2024 preliminary budget in the amount of $15,702,057.57. So moved.
Second.
Any questions?
And just an announcement, obviously, that will be advertised eventually, and it will be available in the office.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Consider a motion authorizing the township manager to advertise the 2024 preliminary budget. So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Consider a motion authorizing the township manager to prepare and advertise an ordinance setting the 2024 rubbish fee subject to the review of the township solicitor. So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? So ordered.
Consider a motion authorizing the township manager to prepare and advertise an ordinance realigning the ward boundaries in Upper Chichester Township. So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Does this advertise for the hearing for it also, or is it just,
Next one is for the hearing. We have to advertise the ordinance at the hearing.
15 gives you the date and time.
okay, thanks. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Finally, consider a motion authorizing the township manager to advertise a hearing on December 14th, 2023 at 6 PM on the proposed ordinance realigning the ward boundaries in Upper Chichester Township. So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. Thank you.
Thank you.
Action item number 16 through 23 will be Commissioner Gaudioso, Michael Gaudioso.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Item number 16, I'd like to consider a resolution granting conditional preliminary final approval for 3333 Chichester Avenue land development application.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Item number 17, like to make a motion considering a resolution granting conditional preliminary final approval for the 4880 Chichester Avenue land development application.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Number 18, like to make a motion considering accepting the extension request granted to Upper Chichester for 3033 Market Street subdivision land development application.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Like to make a motion accepting the extension request granted to Upper Chichester for 2351 Booker Avenue subdivision application.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Like to make a motion approving the zoning hearing board fee waiver request for the owner of 2705 Boudwin Avenue.
Second.
Any questions? I did shoot out an email earlier. Just put it on record. I do feel we need to give her some kind of relief, but I don't think it should be the zoning hearing board fee. Or is that the application fee that everybody else puts in at the same time, George? Is that the same fee we're
She-
talking about here?
Everybody has
No.
that fee.
I believe she was asking for the fee for the sending the letters out for the notification, the $450, correct?
Was she indicated that the cost for sending out the letters to the 500 feet was $450. She's seeking relief from the zoning hearing board application fee. So not the zoning, you have a zoning application fee, administrative fee, and then you have a zoning hearing board fee. She's seeking just the zoning hearing board fee.
How much is that?
I don't have a copy of her fee on me. I believe it's roughly,
500?
yeah, I believe it's $500.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that the fee everybody pays if it's a residential coming in front of the,
Yes.
for a hearing? That is why I put that out there.
$179.
The situation on this one we got last week was, it was above and beyond the mailing. So I requested of trying to help out the relief of just the mailing, which would be half. Talking to the zoning officer and the inspectors, she had twice as many mailings going out than normally. So it cost her a lot more than what she expected. I do not agree, and it's up to the other board members about the zoning application. To relief on the mailing, because that's not what this motion says, is what I put out there in the email. And I think that's what we should be considering, not the application. So, Joe?
So basically, she put out probably $1,200-$1,300, and she's asking for roughly 500 back. Okay.
But
But we got to vote on which
But
fee that we're
the
going to return.
motion is stating the application to the zoning board. If you do that, you're really going to open up a can of worms for the
So-
residents.
Yeah, but you also put $1,300 out and can't put a deck in.
So what's the, you said that you talked with the zoning officer and the notifications were above the normal number. What is the difference? What is that?
What he said, I don't know what the average is, but she put over 52 of them out. I don't know
Over
how.
50 letters.
Yes.
So what happens from time to time is based off the density of the neighborhood that someone is in, when they have to go to the zoning hearing board, they obviously have more notification requirements from a home perspective than others. So the applicant has a corner lot that makes it impossible to build a deck without going to the zoning hearing. So they're going to the zoning hearing board. They came to us and asked if they could seek relief from the fee for the application because their costs associated with the mailing were relatively high. So that's the request that's coming in. So I don't know how you could act on them. Like we didn't charge them for the mail. So I don't think
Right.
you can act on a motion for anything related to the mailing. I think it's the question of, do you want to waive the application fee or not, or half the application fee or a portion of the application fee? As currently the applicant is asking if the board would consider relieving them of the fee.
So
I-
let me get this. It was $79 for the fee, for the permit fee. Okay, and the 600 is what?
You have the application fee and then the cost related to this.
But that's the $500 fee, correct? For the zoning hearing?
Yes.
Because they don't pay for the stenographer.
It comes out of that.
That comes out of the 500. So 500, everybody pays regardless.
That the 500 is-
The permit fee is what the permit fee.
That's
So the
zoning-
real
together
problem
with the
is,
zoning hearing.
so the real problem is the mailings,
Correct.
which anybody that has, I know I had 30 mailings to do. Now, they were a lot cheaper back then, but, we had 30 mailings to do. Yeah. All right. Well,
How do we, Mr. Pierce, how do we, I understand what, I mean, Commissioner Neary, yeah, he
Board doesn't
just,
have the power to do anything related to the mailings. The mailings are the mailings, and that's what it costs to do that. The board does have the power or the authority to, for a hardship situation, to be able to deal with a request or a waiver reduction in fee. And I would say as part of the motion that, that this is a non-precedential motion, but based on the unique set of circumstances related to this, that we will consider.
should we have the word hardship in there anywhere?
The only way you can give a waiver is if it's a hardship, so
Right.
it goes without saying.
Okay. Everybody hear what the solicitor said? I mean, I just want to protect us for the ones going down the road. Because you want to go down and get a zoning application, 79,500 for this big. This is I mean,
Yeah, I think we should consider doing half. I don't think it's either nothing or half. Not waiving out.
the whole fee.
Yeah.
Which would still be
You have the
almost,
ability to-
right, okay. Who made the motion? We have to somehow implement that in half. What's it say here, all of it, George?
So your motion was to consider,
So-
motion approving the zoning hearing board fee waiver request for the owner of 2705 Bodwin Avenue. I guess you could make a motion to amend and add a number at the end in the amount of $250, correct, solicitor?
Which
That
is,
would be the correct way.
okay.
So I'd like to amend my motion to state to grant a fee waiver in the amount of $250.
I need a, se-
Based on the unique set of circumstances.
Based on the set of unique circumstances that is before us.
Second.
any questions? All in favor?
Uh,
Opposed?
No?
So ordered.
You're opening,
Uh,
you are
item-
opening a can of worms.
Item,
I'd have gave the whole five.
But I mean, excuse me, guys, I mean, That's what I was trying to avoid, is opening up these can of worms. We want to give her some kind of relief somewhere, but we had to make sure it's the right way before, because we can't do it for the mailing, because that's our obligation to do it afterwards. So I think, and we've done it 50 million times I've been up here. We've given relief to a lot of people on different circumstances, and each one is different. This was just a little more unique, and I didn't want to open up that can of worms, and which Commissioner Neary is weary about, and so am I. That's why I brought it out and shot the email. So other than that, I think we did the best we could on the circumstances. And Mike?
Thank you. Item number 21, consider a motion, I'd like to make a motion appointing William Gavin as the building code official for Upper Chichester Township.
Second.
Any questions? I thought he was already in there.
Interim.
Interim. There you go. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Item number 22, I'd like to make a motion appointing Charles Catania Jr. as the second building code official for Upper Chichester Township.
Second.
Questions? Drew can't do that job?
Case of conflicts.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Lastly, item number 23, I'd like to make a motion, make a motion considering a resolution to make application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development local share account in the amount of $81,690 for 2 hybrid Ford Explorers for the License and Inspection Department.
Second.
Any questions?
This is also a grant.
Same one.
The 81's for both, right? Just making
Uh,
sure.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay,
That's total.
yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. Action number 24 through 38, it looks like, will be Commissioner Joe Bianco.
Thank you. Consider a resolution making application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development local share account in the amount of $1 million for the Upper Chichester Solar Farm Priority Project.
Second.
Any questions?
Just, George, I think you should just explain what this is so the people know what we're doing.
Sure. A couple of years ago, actually probably 6 years ago now, we started scoping out a solar project for the township in an effort to reduce our carbon footprint and also to reduce our electricity costs. So at the time, the payback was just a little too long for the project to make sense. Recently, the federal government has put in some incentives in place that now make this type of project more attractive to the township. So we are looking at the plausibility of putting in a 1 acre solar farm. The 1 acre solar farm project would cost about $2.5 million. We'd be seeking $1 million in funding from this local share account. The reimbursement from the federal government for incentives is roughly $750,000 to $800,000 right now. And then the rest of the project would come in energy savings. So on a 1 acre solar farm, we would produce enough energy to sell back to the grid to cover our entire energy output each year for the township and save us roughly $175,000 in perpetuity. The payback now on the project with the grant would be about 5 years, which with the usable life of a solar panel, anywhere from 20 to 25 years, the project should save us a couple $1 million.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. Joe, Maria, that's a correction. It's Joe B's doing up to 28, not 38. Sorry about that. There, Joe.
Consider a resolution making application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development local share account in the amount of $438,650 for the Boothman Heights, Chichester Avenue traffic/pedestrian improvement project.
Second.
Any questions?
Let me explain this one as well.
Sure.
This is a project along Chichester Avenue that would add a flashing pedestrian crossing to get from the Willowbrook Shopping Center over, well, from the high school over to the Willowbrook Shopping Center, as well as widen Chichester Avenue to provide a right-hand turn lane into the high school's driveway.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Consider a resolution making application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development local share account in the amount of $468,923 for various public works vehicles.
Second?
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Consider a motion approving contract supplement number 1 from Herbert, Roland, and Grubik Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $55,000 for the stormwater utility implementation project.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Consider a motion authorizing the township manager to advertise a hearing for December 14th, 2023 at 7 PM to discuss potential projects for the township's 2024 CDBG application.
Second?
Any questions? George, did I see?
Isn't that the same night, the
Right.
Yeah.
ordinance meeting?
Yeah, but one's at 6 o'clock.
Yes, so I think that night we'll be starting at 6 PM. That gives us 1 hour to go through the ward realignment, and then half an hour for community development block grant. Usually, community development block grant usually takes us about 20 minutes.
All right. I'm thinking 7 o'clock might be better for the other one for people to get here, but I think 7 o'clock would be better for the ward realignment because it get people more time to get here. I didn't know we were having 2.
But it's going to take longer for that one than this one. Did I see part of Mike's ward in there this year?
Yes, so there's 3, yeah, we've had three blocks
Mike's been
currently. One that encompasses Excelsior Village, Twin Oaks, and Linwood Heights. Then we have a section that runs through part of the Boothwyn Town Center. And then we have a section that pulls in Willowbrook Apartments up to like the Fruit Streets, across the creek to the Fruit Streets to Bethel.
So, okay. Any other questions? All in favor? Opposed? So ordered. We'll go to the Commissioners' report. We'll start with Madam Vice President Nicole Whitaker.
Evening again. I don't have anything. I don't have any other updates. Come out on Saturday for Veterans Day breakfast, and the library is having an event tomorrow as well. So if you know of any veterans, please share the information. Is your information on social media as well? Okay, great. So share the information. And you think of it? That's all I have for now. Thank you.
Does anybody have anything for Commissioner Whitaker? Not, we'll move along to Commissioner Joe Neary.
Thank you. Any administration reports are available at the office, as well as the preliminary budget, the financials for the month, including the tax collector's report and the EIT collections report. The police report is also available, and we have a couple things that we wanted to announce to go over with the police department. The first is the office of the police department recommends that the following personnel changes occur within the police department, utilizing the U.S. Department of Justice fiscal year 23 COPS hiring program, COPS. Patrolman Adam Bionde elevated from part-time to full-time status effective January 6, 2024. Patrolman Alan Reeves transferred from the patrol division to the traffic division effective January 6, 2024. And finally, hire a full-time officer in 2025 to replace Sergeant Kevin Mitchell, who will be retiring on December 31st, 24. And these items are incorporated to help transition, to have a successful transition with the department and not go below current staffing levels. And that's all for the police, and those actions will have to be formalized, correct, George? Right, at next month meeting, but if we can announce them ahead of time. Finally, I sent out an email requesting possibly meeting about personnel matter on next Wednesday at 4 o'clock if possible. I've heard from a few of the commissioners that they're able to make it, and if the other commissioners could get back to us, I'd appreciate it. And that's all I have.
Does anybody have anything for Commissioner Neary?
I probably 95% sure I can make next Wednesday, depending on my work schedule, but I'll make every effort to get there.
The question on the action items we got to do for the police department, do we have to include opening up the testing for any more part-timers? Or are we doing that?
The proposal is that we would probably run the testing in early March. I'm sorry.
So we don't need to put that on the action items on that list right now. Okay. Thank you. We'll move along to Commissioner Michael Gaudioso.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, again. Just for clarification, 2740 Meeting House Road and 3100 Upland Road subdivision. I believe the time clock ends December 30th, 2023. Has there any talks about an extension? Because I don't believe there's any presentations being made next month.
They'll be at planning on the 16th. And then once they get through planning, there'll be a determination of whether that can go to the board for presentation or if that'll.
Okay. Just giving the board a heads up whether or not we're going to have a presentation next month. So that is to be determined.
Yeah, we do have 2 or 3 applications for planning this month. So I would expect that you'll have at least 1 or 2 presentations next month as well.
Okay. We don't have anything else to discuss. The traffic study is hopefully going to be implemented soon on Woodstream Road. So hopefully we'll get the counts again since the roundabout project is complete. And I don't have anything else unless anybody has any questions for me.
If not, we'll move along to Commissioner Joe Biacco.
Thank you. Just like to report pretty much just general progress for highway and sanitation. Especially after this week, they're usually pretty busy. After Election Day, all the commissioners have a list for them. Everybody should have a copy of their sewer authority reports in their file. George, we don't have any updates on when we might be meeting for the stormwater stuff, do we?
We don't have a date yet. We
All right.
need to get through some of the items from tonight.
Okay. That's all I have unless there's any questions.
Anybody have anything to bring to the attention of Joe Biacco, Commissioner Biacco? If not, we'll move to my report. Reports are on file. I don't think I saw the fire marshal, did I, George? Because I don't think he had anything. Okay, that's fine. I shot an email around earlier for the EMS. I'm open for discussion here tonight. They're in a bind. I'm requesting for some extra money to get them through the end of the year. And I did not hear anything. I do see a report in front of us that George put out for us. And I just want to hear the comment.
Do we have a choice? I mean,
It's either, I'm not
We have
going,
to
I won't
supply the
lie to you.
service, right?
It's that or it's out of service.
right.
Making me want to find this thing. You know what? Yeah, that's what I was just going to do. So,
I do have a question. So
right there. Go ahead.
I do have, look, I believe in giving help where it's needed. I just have some reservations. So my one question is this. It's my understanding that the ambulance service is paying roughly $25,000 a year in rent to Boothman Fire Company. So I'm just kind of curious as why is Boothman charging the ambulance service rent out of their own building? Can that be money give them back to the ambulance service. So that way they have that extra money.
Mhm.
So I don't understand why they're paying rent. I just don't think that's a fair shake.
It's my understanding a few years ago, when the fire department consolidated, a lot of the membership felt like they were in the way. And it's not, and at the same time, I think when Crozier was in there at one time, they were paying a fee to be in the bay. So that was an agreement when they finally separated through the fire department and the medic unit being separate, a part of Boothwood Firehouse, but being run as a separate entity with their budget and everything. That was an agreement that the firehouse made with it. You're absolutely correct. That's something we should just go back and try to fix and tell them, hey, why are you doing this? Because we're all here for the same reason. The difference is it's not all volunteer. It's paid people. They had to raise their income salary for the payroll to be able to keep some of the better medics. Recently, I don't know how it's going to affect hours or down the road. Crozier just increased their salary significantly, a lot more, but I think it's only for a year, I read. It's not long-term. It's just something to keep them moving during their transition of trying to sell Prospect. It's also my understanding that they do not want to have a transport unit. They just want an aid car as a chase car with a medic in it. So that would put our unit going everywhere just to transport their patients. So the billing does not come in as fast as everybody would like it to come in. Our other problem is we are running into the city of Chester, minimum of once a day.
But there's no way we can bill them for it.
Or we could build a residence like we do here. I would love to say build a city, but they're in bankruptcy, so you're not going to get nothing. But you're absolutely, because of our license through the state for ALS,
We have to go.
we have to go. We're the next closest or available medic unit at that same time that the call's coming in. Trust me, we are not the only one in the same boat. Aston Township goes into Chester. Brookhaven goes into Chester. The last time we met last summer with the state reps and the senators, it was a good meeting, but that's as far as it ever went. And
Is there any type of funding we can apply for because of this?
we could ask Carol Kazim. I know there was some funding to be able to move them, maybe possibility to do the renovation at the other firehouse to get them into another station. Funding for personnel, I don't know. The county made a comment that it's a municipality's issue, not theirs, but yet they have a health department. But yet the state of Delaware, their counties run the ALS system, and the fire companies just have the paid EMS. So everybody knows I will fight tooth and nail for these guys, whether it's the volunteers or the paid, because I know the service our residents get. Don't have all the facts, but I do know probably 50% of them. There's supposed to be a rig from Crozier in Marcus Hook and one in Bethel Township. Probably 50% of the time it's not in there. And the other 50%, ours is in their town. So it's an issue everywhere financially for the hospital. Now it's financially here. I requested the money. You're absolutely right, Mike. We need to sit down with Boothland and say, why are you charging them in that $25,000 a year?
I'm not looking to go someplace else. I just want to know where the money's going. So another thing that we have is there's two different studies here. One showing that there's going to be roughly a $2,500 profit or in revenue, and another one that says there's going to be a $57,000 debt.
George, you did this spreadsheet
Yeah,
for us tonight.
So I'll walk you through what's in front of you. So I was provided two documents. from the ambulance service. One of them was their financials through September with a projection for October, November, December, and then later updated with the October numbers. So I just did a little analysis to give, kind of give us a range, right? So scenario one at the top was what I did was put in all of their revenues and all of their expenditures. Then I normalized those numbers and I came up with what the average revenue and average expenditures would be. So if in fact that is true and pans out for the rest of the year, at the end of the year, they would end up with roughly $2,576.59 in the bank, which again indicates to me that there's a cash flow issue and that you're probably going to end up in a cash flow issue either between now and the end of the year at some level, right? Because cutting it that close means that your bills are probably going to be higher than your cash that's coming in. The second was taking the numbers that were provided, which was the breakdown of the so forecasts for November and December. The reason I wanted to normalize the numbers and give an average was because it did seem like the revenues for those were relatively low and the expenditures were relatively high, which is not uncommon in forecasting to make sure that you get yourself a cushion to be able to make it through the end of the year. If that, in fact, that scenario comes to fruition, then at the end of the year, you have a deficit of $57,666.81. So above the $50,000 that was indicated prior. And then on the bottom, I just have some general questions that I've sent over for further conversation with the ambulance corps to kind of get a better understanding of their financials. But I think you look at that top and you look at it as a range and say that the very top is a best case scenario. It still indicates that there's going to be a cash flow issue. And the bottom is worst case scenario. And that's not only a cash flow issue, but a deficit at the end of the year.
So I'll turn this on. So what I would suggest is, if we want to consider the $50,000, which I'm fine with considering, however, I would think we should give it more as essentially a credit line. And, they would give us the bills and we're not going to not pay them. But that way we have to have the service. We know that the budget next year is going to incorporate a $50,000 increase. So maybe we under budgeted this year based on those numbers. So as long as the service is willing to work with us to make sure that we're paying, I'm sure they're all legitimate bills, but that we're taking every precaution to use the money wisely, to tell them that the $50,000, it's not like we're going to write a check for them for $50,000, but we can work with them.
So essentially be like a line of, I don't want to put it in as layman terms, but it'd be like a line of credit where they would come to us and say they need $5,000 one month.
Yeah, but it's not, but on the other hand, it's not something that necessarily is going to get paid back. If George's numbers if it comes closer to George's number, then they may need the $50,000 at the beginning of the year as basically what we used to call TAN notes.
Right.
Which we've been fortunate not to have to use, but to give them something like that. Now, if they come, worst case, not worst case scenario, Carl, right? But if it comes to a point where it's $57,000, then we have to make a decision, and that decision, in my estimation, is you have to pay the bills. So,
again, Carl, look, I don't want to go anyplace else, but I want to know where the money's going. So, I guess we're going to move forward with it. But again, I don't think it's right that the ambulance service is paying $26,000 in rent. That's money that they could be going to the ambulance fund. So hopefully we can clear that up.
Well, yeah, and I do appreciate the support and you're absolutely right. George, you have a meeting Monday morning, right? And I think this part that George did today with Marco, with the numbers that they could explain a lot more to him. The payroll is some of the issue. The other thing is we've tried to piggyback off our workman's comp, but let them pay the bill, but they can't do it. The workman's comp's a little higher because they had a hit, which may bring it back down in another year, but not right at this moment. we don't realize it, but 6 years flies by in a heartbeat, and the lifetime of an ambulance is 6 years with all the mileage, where they did build these out to replace the box and not the whole thing. So they were looking for the best interest of everybody financially to say, hey, we're only doing the box, we're not doing the whole thing. And again, the time they buy another one and order it, it's just like the police department. It's a year before it comes in, if you're lucky. The difference is now it's 2 years. Right. The difference is it's $240,000. They pay for that out of their budget. So there's a lot of things in here, and I'm hoping with Marco, George, and Carl on Monday, and Mr. Neri, you're very well welcome in there, because to be able to say, hey, what do we need to do? Joe, I'm the first to say, can I build a city of Chester
I'm
for
just-
being in the city? But
I'm just
how do you,
reaching.
I know, well, the other towns too. Right, absolutely, absolutely. No, they go over it because of mutual aid, but the ALS, you're absolutely right. We have Claymont in here this past week. We have Brookhaven in our township. We've had Aston in here the last week. Why? Because ours is somewhere else. So it's not just here. Brookhaven
It's
shelter,
mutual aid.
right, but it isn't mutual aid to the point that it's transportation.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm just saying,
No, I'm
I'm
just saying, he said, I wish we could build it.
Yeah,
We cannot build
right.
for mutual aid.
That's why I
Other
said,
places come in here and we have to go to other places,
Right.
all depending on when the calls come in.
Right.
So you're just beating a dead horse.
Be quiet. Any other? So do we have to have a motion on this, or how are we going to do this? Because I did request it. Wasn't on the agenda. Mr. Pierce?
You have to take public comment on this expenditure or this loan, whatever. You're going to characterize it before you can vote on it, because it would involve a significant amount of financial.
Okay.
Do it under new business, like get through the
Can
reports,
do it
then
under
do it under new business.
Okay. All right. We'll do that under new business. Residents, if you want to stay for a comment, more than welcome. We're just going to move a little further, but that was my report for the fire and EMS. And we'll see what happens on the new business. George, you want to go ahead to the professionals or before? All right, we'll go to the professionals. Michael Pierce, our solicitor. Sorry
Thank
about
you.
that.
Mine is going to be very short and sweet. You have a copy of my report in the file. We've taken care of all the action items. And I have to report general progress.
Does anybody have anything to the attention of the solicitor? Not, we're moving along to the engineer, Catania engineer, Lisa Catania.
Thank you, Mr. President. You do have a copy of my report. We went through it last Thursday. Just wanted to advise that we did receive bids for the Linwood Heights signage project. I will present that at the next meeting due to the fact I'm still waiting on a CoStar's proposal for the street name signs. I have the park sign proposal. I'd like to present it all together because that is a community development block grant fund project. We will have to send that to the county for concurrence. Once I have all the information, I'll get it there. So we'll be ready for next month. Otherwise, I can report general progress. We're working on oodles. That's a technical term, very professional technical term, but we've got a lot of work going on and we're moving forward. That's always a positive. Thanks. I'll answer any questions that anyone has.
Does anybody have anything for the township engineer? Lisa, how's the, I know, did they start the ramp yet at the, off of Broadway? I guess that's where it's at?
The Washington crossing ramp
Washington.
is, they're starting tomorrow at Jacqueline. They're putting those two ADA ramps in. And then next week will be the Washington.
Okay, thank you. How much more do they have to do on the roundabout? I saw some planting going in there this past
So,
week, which was a good thing, I guess.
As of now, we have temporary lights, so as everybody knows, we won't have the pedestrian lights or the regular street, well, not regular, the permanent street lights in till about December. Probably in the spring, they'll revisit the plantings that are in the roundabout. We've questioned some of the items that are in there. I'm waiting for a landscape plan from from PennDOT, and Brian's already ready to take a look at it so that we optimize what's going to be planted there for long term.
Thank you. All right, we'll move along to new business. I know Commissioner, nope. Oh, sorry. George, didn't I just ask you? Yes, I know. You know what? I wrote it here too.
You'll go first next time, won't you?
I like to,
That's it. George?
I'd like to put it on the record.
good evening,
that
everybody.
George is always forgotten.
Good evening, everybody. In honor of Veterans Day, the Upper Chichester Township offices will be closed tomorrow, Friday, November 10th, 2023. We extend our deepest gratitude to all community members who have served and are currently serving in the armed forces. Please be advised of the following changes to our services. Office closure. The township offices in Fury Road Fieldhouse will be closed on Friday, November 10th, 2023. Trash collection schedule change. There will be no trash collection on Friday. The Friday trash route will be serviced on Monday, November 13th, 2023. Recycling and leaf collection. There will be no collection of recycling or leaves on Monday, November 13th, 2023. The next Monday recycling day will be November 20th. Other than that, reports are on file. Next month for me, you'll have a in-depth presentation on the budget. We'll also have a couple of planning things that we've been working on. We went through a ton of things today that have been on the list, but as Lisa mentioned, the list is like never ending at this point right now. So we're just going to keep plugging away. Next week, we'll be doing our planning charrettes with the Delaware County Planning Department for the Gardendale and Larkins Corners neighborhoods. So we'll be tied up pretty much all Tuesday and Thursday with that work. And any questions?
One quick one. I was asked a question with the sale of the shopping center.
Yes.
Do you know if they intend to do any improvements?
Nothing has been indicated currently. However, we did have preliminary conversations with that group about a year ago about some of their plans, which included, the new McDonald's and potentially doing some things within that site. So they are a company that is interested in owning it for a long time, and they were interested in, possibly doing some upgrades and possibly coming in for some approvals through the board.
And no work up there Sunday, right?
It was communicated to them.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Lisa,
Uh,
go ahead.
I just think the Walmart could use a major renovation.
I will continue to relay that information to the Walmart corporate office.
But Lisa, on that note with the new developer for Larkins Corner, how do we find the plans that were recorded in Delaware County? And the only reason I'm asking, is there any site pads on the plan? We seem not to find them around here or wherever, but how do we find it in Delaware County? It should be there, right?
It should be there, yeah. Matter of going to the details. Unfortunately, that's the time that the county engineer was not the engineer, so I had drawings that we couldn't find here in my office.
Yeah. I do believe that the original shopping center did not come in with any of the outbuildings, and then the outbuildings came in as subsequently in development plans, like the Arby's, the TD Bank. Is that what you're asking? Or-
Right, and because you have that much space between TD Bank and Arby's, that something
Yeah, the Arby's
smaller.
lot is kind of carved out, but
Right.
I would think at the time when those were built, that was probably about the standard size you would need. Now, times are much different.
Okay. I just figure out we maybe get something, or give that opportunity to the new developer coming in, and might help out. Does anybody have anything for the manager, George Needles? Not, we're moving along with the new business. Madam President, Vice President Nicole Whitaker had something.
Together. Thanks. So just a few things. that I wanted to mention to the board. The community center on 452. I know we've talked about it in the past, but I think we really need to consider looking at some funding to either do complete renovation of that, which would mean shutting it down. So I know we just we're going to be renewed with Millennium, so we need to look at some grants where we can totally renovate that. Or if you have any ideas, we should talk about that.
Yeah, there is a grant that's going to be opening up early next year with that's related to broadband. However, it's the category is kind of it's for building community facilities that would have access to internet provided at them. So that would qualify based off of preliminary conversations I've had with the Broadband Authority individuals. Now, they've not released all the information on that yet, but once we get that, so we could look at that space and see what the difference between a total renovation would be as opposed to a knockdown and rebuild. Those are 100% grants as well that they're giving.
We'd have to plan out ahead because we'd have to stop taking bookings.
Yeah.
I don't think it's something we could do right away.
Now, I think you would start with doing the evaluation to determine the path forward, whether, new construction or renovation, and then, kind of set your project timeline and then say if funded on this date, because usually with the funding, you get 3 years to utilize the funding. We get the funding on this date, we shut down from here.
How many acres are over there? Is it? Is this one over?
The only thing, I don't think we can go too much bigger because you ain't gonna have the parking. Unless we could get some of that grass we used to cut. And
I think you gotta-
Right.
There's a lot of different.
Yeah, 'cause it's kind of wasted space now up top.
Right.
So,
You may even be able to shrink it and go up.
Up.
or-
True.
All right, thank you. So let's keep that on the radar. Also,
Parking garage.
we did get the extension for the RACP grant for the library. So now's the time to meet with our professionals to get that work done, and also working with the library, as we discussed last week, to get the list of donors and get that information updated. Contact the donors to make sure that they're aware of the change in location and that they're still willing to commit funds to the library project. And then finally, just want to thank the board for their consideration in hiring Aisha Henson to the rec department. She's going to be a great asset to the township and really get us organized and ready for the new year. So thank you for that. Thanks.
Anybody else has anything for new business before we move along? Now we'll open it up to the residents here regarding our request for additional funding for the EMS. It was not on our agenda tonight. And I think we had a conversation earlier tonight to request $50,000 as more or less pass through to pay the bills or whatever, but add 50,000 to the EMS. So if there's any residents here that want to comment on that, they could come up to the podium and state your name and give your comment regarding the increase of the funding for the EMS for the end of the year, $50,000. Make note, no comment for the residents.
You probably are going to need to put that on the December agenda also, because it's not on the agenda for this month, just to be safe, because it is a significant expenditure. I'm under some criticism for not having it on the agenda and it being that significant. You've taken public comment. I would only suggest that you ratify it again at the December meeting.
Can we do that at the caucus or do we have to wait till the
Sure.
next one?
Sure,
Okay.
as long as you have the agenda published for the caucus.
Right, okay.
Should we wait till then or?
No, we could still make the motion
Yeah,
tonight.
you
yeah.
can, you can.
We didn't make a motion to add it to the agenda.
First. That's-
So let's make a motion to
Make a motion, you would entertain a motion to add the additional funding for the EMS services for Upper Chichester Township to the agenda to be voted on tonight.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Do we have to put the amount in there? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
I don't know exactly how to phrase this.
You would, right, you would make a motion to provide additional funding for the EMS services of Upper Chichester Township for up to $50,000 to cover shortfall for the year of 2023. That's how I would suggest.
Thank you. I need a second. Well, I heard it, so moved, two so
Second.
moves. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
You're welcome.
If not, we need a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Good night.